Welcome to Salute to the Ears, where my family and I discuss everything Disney, from parks, food, and rides to travel tips, movies, and more. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Salute to the Ears. I'm your host, Jeremy Simon.
And I'm his wife, Erica.
And today there was some big news. It seemed like lots of news that came out just today.
This last week there's been quite a bit of news, but today was just like bam, bam, bam.
And then that last bam was like capital letters, bam. It was a lot, and we're going to go over that. That is, we've kind of been talking about, I think on the last couple episodes really.
Yeah, we've touched on it. We've known that it's coming. We've known that they're going to debut it, but what we didn't have was details.
Right. And that's Disney Genie. And with Disney Genie is also the new Fast Pass system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot. I think there's good and bad with it. I think we've been doing on here, and I know some other ones, been doing a really good job trying to prepare people of Fast Pass is not coming back the way that it was.
Right. We're
going to pay. And if we've seen the pattern of everything that's been going since they've closed down with COVID and bringing stuff back, we're paying for things.
Yeah, they're trying to make up for the losses that happened last year. This was definitely an interesting take on what, like, I was shocked by what they decided to do and how this is playing out.
Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of go over what Disney says Disney Genie is. It says it's a complimentary new digital service designed to create your best Disney day.
Yeah, so our understanding from all of the information that came out today is that this is going to be an app on your smartphone that allows you to plan out your day. And so it's going to take information from you where you say, like, these are the things that I'm interested in. These are the ages of, people in our party, especially kids. These are things maybe we can't do or don't want to do or, allergies, whatever. It's going to take your information and say, okay, here's how I think that you should conduct your day.
You can go in there, say you're going to Magic Kingdom, and you have rides that you want to ride. Say you want to ride Pirates and Splash and Haunted Mansion and Space Mountain and all these different rides. It's going to try and come up with an itinerary for that day that's going to put you in line for the least amount of time.
Right. This is the part of Disney Genie that we kind of already knew. This is the part of Disney Genie that had already really been announced as far as like, hey, it's going to help you plan out your day and give you an itinerary and ideas of what to do next throughout your day, depending on how crowds change, how weather changes, all of that stuff.
Right. Here's what Disney says Disney Genie can do. It says it's going to personalize your itinerary. It's going to continually update tips for your best day and things that you could do. It's going to show you forecasted future wait times in the day, just from accumulation of wait times over the years. It's going to have a virtual assistant, so if you have questions on something, you can ask it a question, and it will be able to, cast member will be able to fire back at you, be able to mobile order, get on a restaurant wait list, check in for reservations, and it says attraction virtual queues. A couple of the other ones that are also going to be on there, but are part of another system as we get down to it. There's more things that come to it other than just that.
And ultimately, this is replacing the My Disney Experience app.
Right.
So a majority of the things that you can currently do in the My Disney Experience app are going to also be available in Disney Genie. Things that have to do with like opening your door to your hotel room and like, all of that. Like currently we look at wait times, we look at maps, we look at, information about our party or, things. So a lot of things that you would use My Disney Experience for while you're in the parks is also going to be available on there.
Right. Yeah. That's just crossing over. It's basically your My Disney Experience app on steroids.
Right, exactly. And so that's the part we kind of already knew. That's the stuff that we, the biggest, like, wow, I'm kind of excited about that is the forecasted future wait times. That is something that I don't know that any of us were really anticipating. We understood the, like, current wait times,
Right.
And seeing those, because we already have that access with the My Disney Experience app, but to have the forecasted wait times for you to be able to look ahead and be like, hey, well, we want to try to ride Splash Mountain in the afternoon. What's the forecasted wait time between 2 and 3?
Yeah.
That's huge.
That is big. And I think one of the things in this too is it gives you an itinerary. You don't have to follow that itinerary. No. It's some of the comments I'm already seeing on social media are like people going, well, what if I go off that itinerary? Then my whole day is messed up. No, it continually updates with you as you go. So it may be telling you to go ride Pirates, but you're like, I really want to go ride Splash right now, or it's telling you to ride Splash, and you're like, I'd rather ride it in between like 3 and 4 this afternoon instead of 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
It's going to still update with you.
Right. And you can, I'm sure there's going to be ways to decline things or to, say, hey, I'd rather, do this instead. But the biggest news of all, and it was the reason that as soon as this came out this afternoon, I immediately jumped on Instagram and had to make a newsreel because I was like, oh my gosh, we have a new Fast Pass system.
Right. And there was a lot of speculation what it was going to be. We were hearing stuff from, it was going to be just like Paris, which is, you're paying basically anywhere from $8 to $18 per person per ride throughout the day. We were hearing anything from, it was going to be $100 to $300 per person per day. If it was $300, like you're talking $1,200 for a family of 4 for one day. That'd be ridiculous.
I mean, that's more than the park hopper.
Yeah.
Like that's insane to me to like think through that it would be more for your party than what adding park hopper would be to your tickets. Just because, I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
So Fast Pass is coming back with Disney Genie Plus. Mm-hmm. And instead of going through the Fast Pass line, you're going to be going through the Lightning Lane.
Yes. So this is why there's been a lot of talk about how they've seen all the Fast Pass queues. The signage has all been kind of erased.
Yeah.
They're all still there, but like where it's painted, it's been painted over, or if it had like lettering on it, like where it was like 3D lettering, like those have been taken down. And everybody was like, okay, something's coming. Something's changing, something's coming. And so it's going to be Lightning Lane is going to be your new term for that line.
And all the kiosks, FastPass kiosks, have been out now for a good month and a half. Mm-hmm. Been seeing them on all the vlogs, people showing them. But going back to this, Disney Genie Plus is going to cost.
Yes.
It's in Disney World, it's $15 a day per person.
Yes.
And then in Disneyland, it's $20 a day.
Yeah, and I was honestly surprised that Disneyland's was more expensive.
Yeah.
I actually expected those numbers to be reversed.
So did I.
And, I'm like, that if you just say you're going to do one park a day,
mm-hmm.
and you're doing you do all 4 parks, one park a day, family of 4, that's your average, your family of 4. You've now spent
basically an extra $240.
Yeah. Just to.
And that's that's not all the rides in the parks either.
Right.
It's the majority of the rides. What it is not is your high ticket, your very popular rides. So right now in Magic Kingdom, that's going to be like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Right.
Stuff where there's typically a long line, like Seven Dwarfs.
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain they purposely put on there. It's going to be part of your regular Disney Genie Plus, okay?
Okay.
Seven Dwarfs and some of the other really popular ones, you're going to have to pay extra for.
Right. Now, I thought that was going to be, my understanding of that, and correct me if I'm wrong here, my understanding of that was that you could choose those ones to just buy that one.
You can. You can just buy those ones separately.
Okay.
And one of them that they actually mentioned was Rise of the Resistance.
Right.
So if you don't get a boarding group at 7, you can try and buy your way through the Lightning Lane later on in the day.
Right.
So that's hopefully a good way to get more people on there. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. we'll see. But going back to, okay, this is basically replacing Fast Pass.
Yes. And Max Pass at Disneyland.
Yeah. It's going through Lightning Lane is almost like a virtual queue.
Right.
You can do one ride at a time for your group.
Yes.
And it is the day of when you go into that park.
So really, I feel like they brought back kind of the old Fast Pass and put it on your smartphone.
Yeah.
Is basically what they did. But instead of it just being included, you have to pay for it.
Right. And I think the reason why they did that was because regular Fast Pass lines weren't necessarily fast anymore.
They weren't.
They were faster than Standby.
Yeah.
But Standby was so slow because there were so many people in Fast Pass.
Right.
So now you're still going to have quite a few people there. A lot of people are going to be going, oh, $15 a person isn't that much. But I think it's really going to vary from park to park and ride to ride. I don't know, like, for us, being how Animal Kingdom doesn't necessarily take all day to get through.
Right.
I don't know that we would use it there.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is that you're going to have an option, I'm guessing, for Flight of Passage.
Right.
And Expedition Everest and Dinosaur.
I think Everest and Dinosaur will be included in the Disney Genie Plus. I think Flight of Passage, because that one's so popular.
That's going to be
you're going to be able to buy that one separately.
I just went back to Disney Parks blog to kind of look at the verbiage again, just because I wanted to make sure that we convey this correctly. You're going to have your big favorites, right? So Disney Parks blog says you can make one selection at a time throughout the day with the $15 or $20 per ticket, depending on if you're at World or Land.
Right.
Okay. You can make one selection at a time throughout the day, from classics like Haunted Mansion to thrill rides like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and newer favorites like Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. That one was huge. I was really surprised that one was included in there. So this convenient option is the next evolution of the fan favorite Disney Max Pass service from Disneyland Resort.
Right.
Then it has a separate section that says individual attraction selections available for purchase.
Right.
Schedule a time to arrive at up to 2 highly demanded attractions each day using the Lightning Lane entrance, like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom Park and Radiator Springs Racers at Disney California Adventure Park. These are going to be subject to limited availability and are attractions not included with Disney Genie Plus. Pricing for this option will vary by date, attraction, and park, and will be announced closer to launch. So they don't have that piece figured out yet, or aren't wanting to announce it yet and freak people out. So those ones aren't included. So now if I pay the $15 for Disney Genie Plus, which, can I just say, the adding plus to everything as like the I'm like, okay, I'm getting all my names confused here. It's all running together now.
Right.
Disney Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, you're adding, your attractions. Like I can go get in the lane for Haunted Mansion and Peter Pan and Big Thunder Mountain, and sounds like maybe even like Splash.
Right.
And there's going to be lots of options. But Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, now we're going to have to pay an extra cost, which we don't know how much it would be per person.
Yeah.
And that one, it sounds like is going to be significant enough that they're going to change it throughout the year.
Right. During peak times, it's probably going to cost more because they want to keep that Lightning Lane moving. Because if you can keep that moving, if that's not stalled out, like right now, standby lines, yes, they're long, but you're moving.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel as long. You may be an hour, but it's not an hour standing still. You're moving.
Right.
I think that's what they're trying to kind of please both.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to please both. It's kind of maybe taking away from both. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. This is, I think, definitely a system that I'm anxious to go down to the park and play with and see how I like it.
Yeah. And we still don't have a launch date. That was something really interesting to me. I thought today with this announcement that we were going to have a launch date, that they were going to say it's either launching in sometime in September,
right,
prior to the 50th.
Yep.
What I'm wondering now is if they're waiting until some of the 50th gets going and they make sure that all of that is running smoothly,
right.
and then they're going to introduce this.
Now, that's what I was wondering, because first I was like, okay, they're going to want this up and running and going smooth before the 50th. So I'm like, it's coming in September. And then I was like, well, maybe they're going to wait until like November, beginning part of November, and get past the initial rush of the 50th.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they don't want to have to deal with this and opening Ratatouille. And
they got so much already going on October 1st.
Yeah, that I just don't think that they want to add another piece into that for October.
But would it shock me? No.
One really interesting thing coming with Disney Genie that I'm actually really excited about, and you are too, is that it's going to include some different like behind the scenes looks for you throughout the park as you go around. And one of those is an audio experience.
Right. You'll be able to listen from Imagineers. Imagineers are going to be planning or explaining different secrets and behind the scenes things that happen with different rides or different parts of the park. Secrets that you may not know. It says it's going to be Imagineers and special guests. So
we're kind of hoping for Lou here.
Yeah. Wu Manzhou, WDW Radio. He already did like a whole bunch of audio tours around the park. Really got his start doing Disney trivia books. I got a feeling he may pop up in there. Who knows? It wouldn't shock me.
I hope so. And it will be nice to hopefully also hear Walt's voice throughout the park in different capacities. Yeah. I do really think that the things like that are a fun addition in a way to honor, the history of the park and get you included in the magic of it.
Right.
That's one of those things that some of that information is going to be stuff that you wouldn't get unless you were taking a VIP tour.
Right.
Or you are obsessed with vlogs and podcasts like we are about Disney.
Yeah.
and are listening all the time and are, kind of diving into that. Not everybody is. And, so for everybody to have this opportunity to see some of this kind of the little details, to have somebody kind of point out the little details to them or like talk about why this was built this way or how this was created or, why. I think that's a really cool piece to Disney Genie.
Yeah. Nothing in Disney is where it's at by accident.
No.
It's not just a random name or a random painting or a random face.
Or a number on the trash can or...
It's... Everything has a reason.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. But I'm also worried that then you're going to have so many people rolling around with buds in their ears that...
Or blasting at full volume on the speaker on their phone and kind of ruining it for everybody.
Yeah, you're not going to hear some of the other sounds going on in the park. So I hope it's...
I think they're going to be short. I don't think it's going to be like a walking tour.
Yeah, no, and I hope it's like something pops up on your phone and says, hey, listen to this audio experience.
Yeah.
And you can
pop it in there. I have a feeling they're going to be short and sweet.
Right.
And there'll probably be little signage would be my other guess, is that there may also be some signage in some places of like, or a picture of it in the audio thing in Disney Genie so that you are like, oh, that's what I'm looking at.
Right.
I think it'll be a really nice addition so that it's not just... So that the app itself is not just a tool. Like, it's not just business, right? It's not just wait times and park maps and reservations and, and just a service.
Right. And one of the other things you're going to be able to do with it, it's going to connect with your Disney photos.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're gonna be able to get all your photos from the day downloaded there on that, which you could already kind of do.
You can do in My Disney Experience right now too if you have PhotoPass.
But now with that, there's also going to be places where you get these little videos taken, and some of the characters are coming up behind you.
I do like the idea of adding in the short clip video. That is really smart.
Brooklyn and I were watching it, and it's like Mickey popping up and like waving, and Minnie's there, and it's fun.
They've
It's
already
something
had
fun.
they've already had where they take a still photo of you in PhotoPass and add in animation like Tinkerbell
Yeah.
or some other. They've had some other little characters in there too, where they come in, but your photo is still. So it'd be kind of cool to have, short clip video.
Of Mickey popping
Yeah,
up.
I
I'm
mean,
just
because
thinking of
even
like,
if it's a 5 or 10 second video of you just being like,
yeah,
like throw your hands up, and
yeah,
Mickey ends up popping into it. That's a cool magic shot.
right.
It's an extra.
I think about how much our kids would have liked that when
Oh yeah,
they were little bitties, or some of our nieces and nephews.
yeah.
Some of the characters popping up and waving, and they didn't know that they were there, and they see the video. It's
Well, I mean, we even had where we've had voicemails left by
Right.
on our PhotoPass from characters because
Right.
of we were there at a particular time, or we
Mm-hmm.
went to a particular event or something, and so you ended up with this voicemail basically from the characters, and that was so cool. They really
Yeah.
loved that of like,
yeah,
like, wow, they talked to me, like it's such a special experience. So I am excited about this. I wasn't. I was
Right.
really kind of against it. I really thought that Disney Genie was going to be too much.
right.
Like I thought that it was going to be too AI,
Yeah,
and maybe it will. Like
Yeah.
I'm still a little nervous about that part,
Right.
but it sounds like to me it really is just an extension of
right.
what we're already doing and using
Right.
my Disney experience
Yep.
for.
And this is also another big reason why we're still doing park reservations.
Yes.
They want to know how many people are coming to that park that day, so they can also put that into the app and try to get this app is a good way. It's crowd control.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
Trying
we're
to
taking the
direct-
technology, and
Yep.
Disney's always been great about directing crowds. Maybe not always, but they definitely over the years have learned exactly how to control crowds, exactly how to make it so that people walk where they want them to walk and not where they don't.
Right.
And so they are just taking that to the technology level, right? Of being able to be like, hey, here's the analytics.
Right. It's now what I'm hoping is with this they'll be more accurate with their wait times.
Yeah.
It's you can't tell me because like if they say, hey, you got 80 minutes for Pirates, and then you end up waiting 60, that they don't actually know that you're going to wait 60.
Right.
It's their way to do crowd control now. They're trying to get people to like, hey, you got a 60-minute wait over here for Pirates, and you only got a 25-minute wait for Haunted Mansion. Like, let's try and scoot some people over there.
Yeah.
It's going to be the way, it's how they crowd control.
Well, because here's what happens. So if you put on there that it's a 45 or 60-minute wait, and that's the accurate wait time, right? And so people are like, oh, well, that's not bad, right? On a busy day, they're like, oh, that's not too bad. And people aren't paying attention or aren't looking at, on the map and seeing that, oh, hey, there's a Haunted Mansion is only 25 minutes. And they're like, oh, that's not bad. Suddenly, Pirates is a 90-minute wait. Right. And so you're right, it's crowd control, but it's crowd control in a way of like, hey, we're trying to save you here.
Right,
from
trying to save you some time. Like, let's get the most out of your day. So, because like when it says it's going to give you tips, what it's doing is, okay, it says on your itinerary you're going to Pirates, but you also have Splash. Well, Splash is now suddenly a 20-minute wait, and that's not normal. So it's going to pop up and it's going to say, hey.
I do wonder if we're also going to get some more accurate information about rides being down due to weather and things.
Yeah.
And rides being down due to, mechanical
yeah.
or whatever. I hope that that's a little more clear with this one.
Yeah.
Just because if it's trying to help you plan ahead, like if
Right.
it's looking at, that's one of my questions is like, hey, is Disney Genie looking at radar? Because pop-up thunderstorms are very common in Central Florida.
Yep. And one of the other things it does when it does your itinerary throughout the day, if you don't already have like dining reservations, it will give you, it pops up there with different places to eat. Like say you don't have lunch plans, of places to eat around lunchtime, and the times are available for your mobile order.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like it's going to be more, like having that VIP tour guide with you and being like, okay, well, we can go to this or this, and we can eat at this and this. Like, and you just having to be like, all right, I'm going to pick, this.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's going to be as bad as what I was originally
Right.
thinking. And the thing I really, really like about this is the continuity that I think we're going to see truly between Disneyland and Disney World with Disney Genie.
Right.
I mean, you do have some of that right now with the My Disney Experience app, but now that we have the same language happening for your fast lane, lightning lane, like fast pass, max pass, like
Right.
that line, okay?
Yep.
Now that we have the same language for both different resorts, and we have, kind of the same app, the same thing, like it's not going to matter which one you're at, you're going to know how to utilize it. That I really like. I believe, I feel like that brings in like the, these are actually one entity.
Right. Yeah. My biggest worry of this whole thing is
The robots are going to attack.
we're going to be on our phones so much. One, we're going to miss some of that magic. And two, everybody's phone is going to drain so fast.
Yes. So I kind of want to know if Disney Genie is sponsored by Fuel Rod, because Fuel Rod is going to make bank.
Yeah.
If you are planning to go to the parks after this launches, please plan to take a battery pack with you because you're going to need it.
Yeah. One quick other note. Josh D'Amaro kind of spoke on it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put what he said on it. It says, Disney Genie listens to the preferences that guests share with us to help design the best Disney day, allowing guests to spend less time planning and wait times doing the things that they love.
Yeah, I do worry that it's going to be, that everybody's just going to be on their phones. And we kind of already saw that some with like even in lines, like, it used to be that people kind of like stood around and talked and like hung out, and while you were in line. Now everybody just plays games on their phones.
Right.
And included in that is the
Disney Play
app,
yeah.
And that's connected. Is that going to be included in Disney Genie? We haven't seen anything on that one yet, or is that still going to be a separate app?
Right.
And the, we already kind of see that, but now if everybody's having to check their phones for everything, but I think this is why those Fast Pass kiosks have been brought back.
Yeah.
I think they are going to be the, hey, your phone's dead or you don't have access to it. Here's how you get to your Disney Genie.
Right.
Like you scan your Magic Band, it's going to pull up your stuff.
Yep.
You're going to be able to make your choices. You're going to be able to do it. It's kind of like you used to when those kiosks were Fast Pass.
Right. I think more stuff, we're going to be learning more about it as we get closer. And as we get closer, we're going to be putting more stuff up on Instagram Reels.
Yes, we're going to put more stuff on Instagram Reels. I'm hoping to get some actual posts up. If you have questions about this app, about this service, about any of the new stuff coming, make sure you drop us a line, shoot us a message, either on Twitter or Instagram.
Right. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. And please, please, please go out and share this podcast. Share the information you find on Reels, on Instagram and Twitter. Help us grow this thing. And with that, please go out and find your joy.
And have a magical week.